The last Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries was when slavery was abolished. So this is giving the energy of emancipation, you know. I was looking to see, okay, when Neptune enters Aries, it's like Neptune is entering a new cycle around the planet, right? So what was the previous cycle? What was the closing of that cycle, the previous cycle all about? So in the previous cycle, there was a lot of occult practices that became more popularized. You know, there were a lot of seances and people started to really wonder, you know, what really happens after death. There was a lot of religious cults that were started back in those times. People just got a lot more spiritual and mystical back then. So I think during that collective awakening, to some extent, it was as if there was some sort of, I guess you'd say, collective dissonance. Like, if we're all one, then why would one person own another person? You know, I think Saturn in Pisces back then probably brought up the myth of the whole concept of black people being subhuman. So naturally, slavery got abolished in the next cycle. You know, there was a civil war, there was a whole bunch of chaos that happened. And of course, you know, that didn't end there. I actually went to look to see where Pluto was. During that time, Pluto was actually in Taurus. So it was on that Scorpio-Pluto axis of property and power. And you know, Scorpio is all about power over the self, but if it's toxic, it is more about power over other people. So naturally, this being a Mars-ruled sign and, you know, yeah, this particular energy, this particular polarity here, I could tell that there would be a lot of war and chaos that would happen after the whole abolition. All the race wars and segregation and all of the issues with racism that still exist today are just basically because this is a feminine energy. It's a fixed feminine energy. It's going to last a very long time. Of course, you had certain secret societies like the KKK that got created just to maintain some sort of subliminal or, you know, subtone of hierarchy. So we can see that this energy is still around, you know, it's just more hidden. It literally in the subconscious of a lot of people. So when we're looking at these Pluto axes in terms of the fixed energy, it's probably not going to be a big shift, right? And this is why I don't literally believe that we are actually in the age of Aquarius yet, but I think we are in the beginnings or in the foundations of the age of Aquarius. I think these shifts are supposed to prepare the collective for the energy of Aquarius.